Check it out. It's your photo right there.
What? That is the first ever photo annual from Backcountry Magazine. You know what year that's from? It's from like 1918. It's when cameras were first invented. Here we are in 2019 of the first ever 2004 photo annual, Backcountry Magazine. So 15 years ago? That's right, I remember that shot like it was yesterday. Totally full circle. Totally full circle. Wow. So we're here in Boulder, Colorado for the Rome Awards. For those of you who've never been to Boulder, it's a suburb of Denver, and it's just an amazing little town nestled here in the Front Range of Colorado and the Rocky Mountains. Many of you know that my background as a photographer was primarily in action sports. So many of the magazines and a lot of the companies in the ski, snowboard, outdoor industry are based in Boulder or Utah, so I feel like I was always here. When I started really thinking about building community around photography and action sports, it was in the early 2000s where this stuff was really starting to blossom, where my work, I was on the, regularly in all the magazines and shooting ads. And it's a trip to think that was, like 20 years ago. But it also feels like it was like yesterday. There's this really cool sort of nostalgia feeling that I have coming back here. Not only am I seeing a bunch of friends from that era, people like Travis from one of the best snowboarder in the world, but even so many folks that are in the climbing community and these adjacent film and photography communities. It's like this strange reunion in a weird way. It sort of feels like coming home to creative roots.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Christopher Gerard with Free Skier Magazine. I'm here in Cadrona, New Zealand with my good friend Jarvis.
Gerard is the founder and CEO of Rome, and we also have a long storied past together. He co-founded a magazine called Free Skier back in the 1997, I think, and I was one of their original contributors.
I'm Christopher Gerard. I'm the publisher of Free Skier Magazine.
At some point when I wanted to expand my footprint beyond just the action sports world, and I started using the internet and doing a lot of commercial work, I was showing him what was happening on the internet with my work and with the communities that were growing there, and he shared with me that the audience that I had been cultivating and the community I had been growing online was bigger than the Free Skier magazine and snowboard magazine communities put together. I think it was a huge wake-up call for him, like, oh my God, like the future of creativity and connection and what was possible was going to be enabled by online. So Nikon approached me and asked if I'd give them some feedback on this new camera that's not out yet. It's going to be called the D90. They said, hey, I know you're a D3 user, but I wanted to get the opinions of a pro, and they also thought that they could give it to my staff and see what they could do with it, since they're all advanced amateurs in their own right. And I said, sure. I had this idea, I've got a big commercial shoot coming up. Why don't you guys send us a bunch of D90s, and then I'll give them out to my staff, and they can take pictures behind the scenes during the shoot all week, and then I can test it out too, kind of in a professional environment. And they went for it. So I thought I'd show you behind the scenes what it's like to test out a brand new camera. There was really no such thing as sponsorship in the photography world. I saw, a photographer standing on the back page of a photo magazine with a Nikon camera, or a Canon, either Nikon or Canon camera. I was like, wow, so what is this sponsorship deal here? Because I'd come from action sports where all athletes, all the brands had sponsored people, and even it was just getting free stuff. It didn't exist in photography, so that's one of the things that when Gerard left the ski industry and came to work with me up in Seattle, that was one of the first things we really went to work on, is helping the brands understand that the future was through individuals, and there was a great way to build a community around people and their interests and authentic, like really wholesome, real communities, and that could be a way to help brands authentically connect with audiences and brands authentically connect with. And this is Travis Rice. Come here. This is Travis Rice. Where are you at? Yes, sit down. You want to?
Oh, my me, man.
No.
Getting jacked
Same.
For the show here.
Doing your push-ups. So I got my lines here, and
I saw you out here. I was like, so what do you want to do about that rewrite?
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up.
I'll tee it up. I'm gonna go write it down, and I'm gonna run up and get a few things together.
shots. Is that what you're gonna say?
A few shots, not yet. We got like 40 pages here.
Oh,
Just
God.
gonna memorize them real quick, and I'll see you in about an hour.
You're boss, dude.
Okay.
Thanks, bro.
Rock and roll.
Yep. All right, we're here at the Boulder Theater in Boulder, Colorado. I'm so psyched to be part of the Rome event here. We're bringing everybody together for the Rome Awards. 3,000 something entries, whittled down into tonight's the night. People get to find out. I've talked to people from Israel, from London, from New York, from Canada, from Australia, from New Zealand. Just an amazing gathering of people coming together from all over the world with a shared interest of adventure, of community, and getting a couple beers and celebrating.
Your host for tonight's ceremony, the one, the only, Mr. Travis Rice.
First, I want to introduce the person who started all of this. I've known him for a long time. He is founder, CEO, and most importantly, my friend, Mr. Christopher Gerard.
Rome, if you haven't gathered, is all about adventure. We are an adventure company that inspires curiosity. When we get our community together, eyeball to eyeball, there's real power in this.
That's one of the things, like going back to the Boulder deal and going back to my old community, it's like it feels so good to be reconnecting with a handful of people who, you know, have been here since the beginning. It's not really a surprise now that I think about it that it was something that I was doing 20 years ago, and it's literally why I'm here today. Success that you will find will be 100% on your own. Of course you have to be great at your craft, and of course you have to sink in the 10,000, the 20,000 hours, whatever it is to sort of master or get good at your domain. But none of it happens, none of the success, or obviously also the sort of the joy is diminished if you don't have other people in your community to share this with, to connect around, to learn with. And if you're not familiar with my book, Creative Calling, like the community aspect of it and using community as a lever to grow your footprint and to learn and to build one another up, like that is, it's a quarter of the book. It's 25% of the book. So it's remarkable to me that community is arguably more valuable now than ever before, and it's the same advice that I would give anyone, 15 years ago that I'm giving today. And it's amazing that it's as tried and true and as valuable as it was, day one. So I'm thinking about it. It's really fun to be a part of that.